which it's been raining here for 2 days. Which
Yeah, we're getting it too. That's what this whole
anything.
week's gonna be.
Yep, because our grass is dead.
Ours still looks really good. I don't know why we haven't been watering it, but
Maybe neither. That's why it's just toast. But it's just been raining and raining and raining.
comes back.
Hopefully it'll stop. I think tomorrow, maybe. It's kind of nice just to have rainy days, just chill.
It is. It's like you have less expectation for the day almost.
Except I had to walk Riley twice and got soaked both times. Like looking outside, I'm like, Riley, dude, it's pouring. Can't you hold it for like a day or two? Come on, please.
We had a dog that I think tried.
She probably would. That's the thing, is like she's like super good. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I can't make her do that. Like I'm a creature of habit, like down to the minute. And so is she. Like I've trained her, like we're like soulmates. So like she knows if it's like 11:13 a.m. it's time to pay the turkey tax, because she knows I go upstairs and make my turkey sandwich and she gets a little turkey tax when I make the sandwich. So that's how it works. Hey, what are you doing? Go make your sandwich. It's lunchtime. Hello, Isabel over on Instagram. Hello to Isabel, Corey, and Sandra over there.
It's like you're doing the what was that kids show where they had the magic mirror they could see, and I can see so and so.
Yes, I can.
What was the name of that television show?
I don't watch a whole lot of TV.
It was way back when we were kids.
I watched the Bozo show on WGN out of Chicago, where they played the grand prize game with the buckets, ping pong balls.
Oh, Romper Room.
Oh, I kind of watch it, but I remember like my parents or grandparents got me. They got me a toy when I was real young. I remember like they were like little like yellow cups that were on like ropes, and you'd like walk on them.
Oh yeah,
you remember those? Like they were yellow.
Yes,
like yellow cups. You would stand on them, but like they're on ropes. So, like you stomp around on them and made you taller.
Yes,
I remember playing with those a lot.
Yes.
Copper Smith. Hello. So we need listener questions. If you have a question, drop it in the comments below, either on Instagram or Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, or Twitch, wherever you are. It'll come in all the places. Let me find a question in the inbox.
It's not Twitter anymore, though.
It's X. I know, but I'm still going to call it Twitter.
Formally named now.
Formally. Oh, I got to change that theme. That's too big. Let's see. Let's go to what is happening? Brand. Yeah, that's better. I like that. That was too big. Okay. Oh wait, no wonder I didn't put that we're live. Okay, let's do this. Post there and post here. What's the 21st of September?
I know, right? That was last week.
I know, man. We didn't have it was on a non-podcast day, man. Opportunity lost.
I know. For everybody. For us, for Disney, for Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Exactly. We could have had the funkiest podcast out there for that.
We could have had a crossover beyond all crossovers.
We could have the best baseline of the coming into the show. I mean, we could have. You only get that on Sunday nights. Hey, everybody.
Sounds like we're at a ball game.
No, that's the house band. It's better. Hang on. You got to wait until it hits. This is just the beginning, and then it hits.
Okay.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Funky. But then, if something is really good.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Brother's got kicked off of YouTube. We should probably do a show where we get kicked off all the platforms.
Sorry.
Okay, but that's way more fun. Anybody asks a good question about a really, really good dessert, you'll get the sexy sacks.
A really, really good dessert.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. Here we go. What's that?
The mailman.
Oh, I thought that was my stomach for a second. I'm like,
no, it really sounds like someone's revving up out there, right?
Was my stomach growling? Because
No,
sometimes with my headphones, I hear it through the microphone.
no, it's literally the mailman.
Okay, good. Mailman comes in a tank.
It's basically like that. I swear he has like glass packs or something on the muffler to make it louder.
Oh, God, you know, our guy comes in a Jeep. Your guy comes in like a Hummer.
Yes, basically.
It's like they're doing a podcast. I heard they do a podcast in that house.
Yes.
That's my next door neighbor. It's pouring down rain. He'll get on his lawnmower here in 15 minutes because he knows his podcast day. What's up, Brad? Shout out. He's probably watching right now. He's like, getting on. He's putting on my rain gear so I can cut my grass. So in the background. All right, here we go. This is 2561. Welcome to episode 2561 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents, yes, over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Again, hope your week is going well, that you're being very productive and having a lot of fun, because you know what? No matter what you do in the world, you should try to incorporate fun in there. I know that you probably have to go to work and it's kind of just, it's a time of year, you know, holidays kind of still far off, you know, it's just kind of that, what are we doing right now? You know, not a whole lot happening with vacations probably planned. You know, it's just not a lot of excitement happening this time of year unless you're a big football fan or anything like that. But you know what? You got to make your own excitement. We're going to try to make this week a little bit better with some fun Disney talk. And joining me, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. She's Pam Forrester, and she just got back from an amazing, crazy road trip down to the area near Cleveland, Ohio. And she got to see one of the most revered things in American pop culture history. Pam Forrester, what's going on? Happy Wednesday.
We did. So if you're planning a trip to Cleveland, you may be thinking about visiting like the NFL Hall of Fame. Isn't that somewhere near there? The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right? Catching one of their world-class teams, professional teams. My family, where did we go? We headed to the house that was featured in A Christmas Story. Yes.
Leg lamp all around. That's right.
Leg lamps for everybody. So yes, we did that. It is something actually I've been wanting to do for a while. And it has transferred ownership a few times. And the current owners, I can say, are taking really good care of the house and have added some things to it. We were really impressed, truly. I didn't know that more than the exterior was used in the filmmaking. There were some scenes that were actually shot in the house. They had a lot of the some of the stuff like from the movies, like they have a Red Ryder BB gun, one of the actual ones, and they have some of the costuming. They have a gift shop that I had a hard time making some choices, people. Let's just say I wanted to put the whole gift shop in my bag and go with it. But it was really cute. I was glad that we did it. And it would be I'd go back, at some point and do it if someone was in the area and wanted to see it. So it was fun. It was a fun day.
So when you drive around the greater Pittsburgh area, if you see a house with a leg lamp in the front window, you will now know where Pam Forrester lives, because
I was very tempted by the full-size leg lamp, which I think you can get other places. Because I think when we drive around to look at Christmas lights and stuff, you'll see someone who has one. This was legit full size, and it was there in all its glories. It was crazy. Yeah.
There you go. Paul and he's joining us here live on Facebook, says filmed in Ohio, but based on my old hometown of Hammond, Indiana, 30 miles from Chicago. And Wendy, who's joining us over on Instagram, says headed to Cleveland in 2 weeks for college tours. and it's on her must-do list.
I agreed. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And you know what? The best thing about it is they let you take pictures. They let you touch the thing. Like, it's sort of like interactive. Like, you know, the scene where the dad is like moving the damper down, like from the furnace. It's there. And I have a picture of Steve like touching, like he was, you know, moving the damper open and closed. I'm not sure what you were supposed to do, but yeah.
So stay tuned, because we will be giving you the secret message at the end of today's show.
Right.
You have your secret code ring handy.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. First question of the day is coming from Kat Coppersmith over on Instagram. Question about the Halloween at Disneyland. How hard is it to get tickets to Oogie Boogie Bash? Do those staying on site get priority like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party for resort guests at Walt Disney World? Pam Forster, talk about Oogie Boogie Bash. Kind of bad news for this year.
Yes. Well, yes. Yeah, they are gone. They are challenging to get, I will say. They are probably one of the hotter tickets in town, for sure. It just is, you know, one of those things that so many people want to go to that it's, you know, the sale out. They had a couple different releases of it this year. I think it was for people staying on site, and then they did another one, but they were pretty much sold out after the first few days that they were available.
Yeah, it went super quick. I mean,
it did.
This time I think it was a little bit smoother than last time. Last time the whole systems went down. It was like 2 weeks before the systems came back up. It wasn't that big of a nightmare this time. I mean, you know, nightmare is good for Halloween party, but not for trying to buy tickets. But yeah, but they go quick again, because this is something that is really going to draw the locals out, right? It's a special, any special event at Disneyland, the locals are going to go to, because that's like great. You know, it's like, hey, it's something different. Let's do this party. So yeah, you got to really get on that. When you see like the ticket sales are going to happen, I hate to say it, but it's like a Run Disney registration. I mean, you almost have to like block out the time and maybe take off that morning of work and get in the queue. It's a virtual queue usually and stuff like that.
Yes.
All right. Isabel's got a question. It says, random question, hoping you might know the answer to. My Disney solo trip was cut short when I caught COVID, had to miss the Halloween party that night. Customer service said that I could use it towards a future party. Does that only include the Halloween party, or could I use it towards a Christmas party too? So this one we probably don't have the answer to, but how in general, Pam, have you heard Disney customer service handling things like this? Because I think Ricky was was down at Walt Disney World this past weekend, and I think she went to the Halloween party on a ticket, like not on a ticket that she didn't get to use, but she used the value of a ticket that she missed because she was expecting Baby Lucy or something like that.
Yeah. So when you buy a ticket for a Disney destination, they are non-refundable.
Yep.
This is one of the reasons why we advise many guests to purchase their tickets as part of a package, because then, and this doesn't really include party tickets because those you do purchase separately, but when possible, you know, if you can purchase your 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-day ticket with a package, you're in less danger of losing out on the value of that. And the value of those compared to a party ticket is huge. So if you aren't able to use it because you aren't going, then that's a challenge. But the party tickets, typically you're not able to get your money back or even the value applied in most circumstances. Sometimes if you have an extreme circumstance like this, Disney customer service will be a little bit lenient with that. And what they will do is let you apply the value of that ticket toward the purchase of another one. Now, if you're going in a subsequent year or even later that year, the ticket price may actually be higher than the one that you purchased, and you would be responsible for paying the difference, of course, in that space. I don't know what they're doing in this particular case, but if you give Walt Disney World Ticketing a call, and you can just call the general number, they will either transfer you or give you a number specific to call. They'll be able to answer that question for you for sure.
Yeah, good answer. I mean, basically, what I would guess is you would get what that ticket was worth that day when the party was happening.
Yeah, what you paid for it.
Yeah, and then that value, if you want to go to the Christmas party, you would get that value towards a Christmas party ticket. You know, if you want to go, say, in November, December, something like that. So, and hope you're feeling better. All right. Wendy's got a question. Speaking of Wendy, who's going to go on a college visit and go see the leg lamp and hopefully not get the soap in the mouth because, you said a naughty word. You can't do that, actually. I asked Pam. It's the first thing I asked. Did you stick the soap?
I know you can't. That's the one thing that they told us you could not do.
This is a great photo op, but you can't do it. She says, going to Mickey's not so scary for the very first time, and we don't have a park ticket that day. How early do people line up for the 4:00 entry? You know what? Here's one of the things. Because I mean, I think it used to be like Disney. Remember how like the buses used to say like DVC, Disney's best kept secret, like not anymore.
Yes.
For a while there, the 4:00 entry was like Disney's 7th best secret, like people thought it was 7:00, but hey, if it's 4:00.
Right.
But now the whole world knows. If like 3:50, like it's like 15,000 people outside the Magic Kingdom. So what's the status on that, Pam? What's your philosophy on trying to like get into the Magic Kingdom before the party? What would you do if you didn't have a ticket?
So I would probably reckon on being there probably at least 15 minutes early and knowing that you may have a bit of a wait to get in, but I think that it's not going to I mean, the line, they're actually really good at moving people through the turnstiles. And the thing that holds it up a little bit with party tickets is that you have to get a wristband. So that's part of the thing too. You can always elect to do that. Well, they usually have you do it right there. They usually have a specific entrance for folks going into the party specifically. And that's what you go through. You'll get your wristband and go from that point forward. But it's just, I think it's not going to be even as impactful as like getting there on the morning of like opening. Probably more people line up for the morning opening than the Christmas party or the Halloween party. But
yeah, they want to get you in. I mean, they want to get you in because they want to get you, because that area gets congested so quickly. It's not a big area, and the monorails dumping people off, the ferries dumping people off, people coming in from TTC, and it's an uncomfortable place to be for a super long time at 4:00 in the afternoon in Florida. I mean, it's in the blazing sun, and people are dressed up in their costumes. Trust me, I was Captain EO one year. It's hot. So they want to get you in so at least you can go get a soda or, get in the shade, and they're trying their best. But yeah, I would say if I had to give you a time, maybe 3:30, and maybe you'll be towards the middle to the front of the pack. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think too long. But Mike's your value.
You're getting there earlier than I am probably. And Mike's probably.
I'm always early. I
know. I am too, but
just my grandpa and me. Yeah. My grandpa always had me first.
I know. I'd like to be early too, but like for this, I don't know why. I feel like if you come in closer to the time where it's opening, you're probably going to have less of wait. But who knows?
Yeah, you'll flow through better. You won't, like, I would stand and cook, but I would maybe be up in the front. But yeah, if you go like 4:15, you're probably not standing at all. You're probably just like riding the wave right through, and you're probably not losing much time at all. So it's probably a better experience getting there at 4:15 than 3:30. Honestly, I'd be suffering a little more, but I'd be suffering for a good cause. All right, because I counteract Ricky. Ricky would get there at 9:30 for
right. Yes,
that's just how it works. Michelle, this is an interesting question over on YouTube. Says, I have a question. Hey, you found the right show. I know Disney likely won't offer the Halloween party pass again, but do you know why did they offer it in 2019? This is an interesting question. And if you're new to the show, you might not remember this because, good Lord, this was before COVID. If you don't know, back in 2019, Disney had this thing, again, obviously geared towards locals, where you could buy basically not an annual pass, was like a seasonal pass that got you in the Halloween parties for that season, and you got to go. And I don't know I guess it's just like anything else, people outside of Florida could buy them. I mean, I'm an annual pass holder living in Missouri. We have annual pass holders all over the world. I thought that was an interesting play, but Michelle's asking, why did Disney make that play? Because the hard ticket events are always popular. What do you think? I mean, I've never really thought about why they made the play. What do you think?
I don't either. And I wonder if they did a little research and saw that like most people attending the party bought a lot more merchandise or bought a lot more, you know what I mean? I wonder what was behind that. I can see why they won't do it again. I think it makes it a little more challenging to predict how many people are going to show up for each party, how to staff each party. Then when we have things like you know, the lightning lanes and all of that. I mean, I realize that doesn't happen during the party, but still thinking about all that, I think it's a little more challenging to manage because of that. But yeah, it was a cool thing, and it's a great reminder, I think, for all of us, right, who are Disney fans. When something first comes out, like its first year or two, oftentimes it's offered and the price is lower and there are more inclusions, and anytime there's something like this, like, jump on it because
I mean, honest to God, like the Disney dining plan is exhibit A, B, C,
yes,
all the way through Z.
yes.
That example. I just remember the first time we had the Disney dining plan. I'm like, I told my wife because we were there like when it first came out. I was like, am I going to get arrested when I leave here because we just ate so much food for so little money? Like,
Right,
we all had our own appetizers. Like we all had. I was like, there's no way in God's earth we could all eat this much food. Like it was ridiculous. You know, and of course they tamped it back, you know, in subsequent years, but it's exactly it. Like I was like, there is no way this works. Like
right.
the first year was ridiculous because I was like, dude, Paige had an appetizer. I'm like, Paige eats like 4 chicken nuggets. Dude, she was getting a full size adult app. Like it looked like Thanksgiving dinner every time we sat down. It was crazy.
It's funny. Yeah, I mean, it just is. I think like, and the first time like something comes back or whatnot, I think it's just, yeah, it is. It's a good reminder for all of us. But it was such a unique offering, wasn't it? I mean,
Totally forgot about that. Till
yeah,
Bill brought this up. But it was, I mean, people, I mean, there were locals that went like every single party and they started strategically like doing their costumes. You know, they do different costumes for each weekend and they
yeah,
go throughout the week. I mean, I think for like Halloween fans that were down there for you know, some of the cast members like pooled their money and like did this. It was kind of a, because I mean, there's a lot of folks who really get into Halloween, like the spooky season kind of thing. I mean, this is like a dream come true because if you were really, really into it, it brought down, it's like season tickets, right? It brought down the cost per party way down. But I
oh
mean,
yeah,
you're investing a lot up for it's just like an annual pass, right? I mean, if you go every day, you're getting you're making out like a bandit. But I mean, they're hoping you go 5-6 times.
right, for sure. And the other thing is I wanted to mention, because Universal actually has frequent fear passes. And those are for folks who like Halloween Horror Nights and want to go to multiple ones. There's different ones, as I believe, happens. But so Universal has kind of picked up this. If it's something that's in your wheelhouse and you want to be frightened, this is not a not so scary situation. This is a scary situation, but lots of people like it. Yes.
Goofy. That's Goofy getting ready for spooky season.
Right? Yeah, Goofy pops over to Universal at this time of year because he's goofy with the chainsaw.
All right, good question, Michelle. We love that thought there. Okay, so James has a question, but it's so long, I'm not gonna pop it up on the screen, or else I'll drown. You won't see me here on the screen. He says for the standard let's talk Disney dining plan. Speaking of Disney dining plan, for the standard Disney dining plan, do you prefer to have snack for breakfast, quick service for lunch, and table service for dinner, or quick service for breakfast, snack for lunch, and table service for dinner? Historically, we've always done the traditional snack, quick, table routine, but I'm thinking of changing. I can't quite eat the quantity anymore. So by extending the hours between quick service and table service, I'm hoping to maximize my appetite. So how do you, I think everybody philosophically on the table, on the standard Disney dining plan, right? Where you get kind of it's basically a, you know, a quick service meal, table service meal, a snack per day. I kind of do well, let me ask you first. How do you typically do it when you're on that plan?
So I'll throw something else into the mix here, James.
Oh, Lord. Here we go. Formulas.
What if you do, one of you, if there's more than one in your party, this only works if there's more than one of you in your party. What if you do one of you does a quick service and one of you does a snack for breakfast? Then the other one does a quick service and the other one does a snack for lunch, and then your table service meal for dinner. I think that way you sort of get like the option of having, so like for instance, for breakfast, you could get Mike's beloved bounty platter.
Amen.
Mike loves, and that's going to come with eggs and waffles and bacon and sausage and like a biscuit or something, right? All of that stuff. But then somebody else could get like this a bagel with cream cheese or whatever, something, and you split those. And then at lunch you do something similar. Get, you know, because there are actually some good lunch options that are really snacks. I mean, and by the way, who couldn't have like a Mickey pretzel as lunch? I'm just saying, like, that's a good deal there. But there are some like that have I don't know, like the chicken fried rice, I believe, in Animal Kingdom. That's a snack.
Yak and Yeti. That
Yeah.
is a steal. That is good. It's a big portion and it's solid. That is really good. That's
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's a good deal. So lots of good stuff like that. There's some great ice cream sundaes that I think would make a fine lunch.
Yeah, you're on vacation, people. And I think the thing is you got to get out of like your normal routine. Like I gotta say, when I'm at home, like when I eat lunch, I'm like, okay, you got to make it to dinner, right? Dude, you're on vacation. Like
Right.
if you're hungry in 2 hours, there's always a good snack. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. Like go get an ice cream bar. You know,
Yeah.
like, you don't. If you get hungry, who cares? Just eat again.
And if you're there during a festival, all the better, from one of the festival booths. So I think that's how that is typically what we do, and that's how we would play it too. How about you, Mike?
I am a rule follower. You just blew my mind when you said about everybody going their own way. Like, no. I gotta have everybody doing the same thing. Like, okay, that confused me. I hear you, and that's a great strategy, but that just totally made me all confused. Typically, what we'll do is we will save the table service meal for dinner. However, we do the flip flop sometimes because we'll do like a character breakfast sometimes.
True.
So on those
That's
days,
a great use of it too.
yeah. So like maybe we'll go to Ohana and you know, like Ohana for a breakfast. We like that for like a character breakfast. But what we do on that day is we always have in our room like Rice Krispie treats or Pop Tarts or something. We just throw those in like the luggage and just have them. Cause like sometimes you get back to the room late at night and you just need like a snack before bed and even in the morning out the door. So on those mornings where we'll have character breakfast, we'll use the table service meal for the character breakfast. But what we'll do is we'll schedule that for like 10:30. Okay. So what we'll do is out the door, we'll grab a Pop-Tart or a Rice Krispie treat out the door. We'll rope drop Magic Kingdom at like 8:30, whenever it opens, 8:30. We'll hit like 4 or 5 attractions at the Magic Kingdom, really work up a good appetite. We'll have that Pop-Tart to kind of tide us over, and then go over and have our character breakfast at Ohana, you know, at 10:30, whatever time it is, we can get it, kind of the latest one before lunch. Have that character breakfast, then we don't even need lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like lunch is a wash because you're stuffed.
Right.
You had a huge breakfast. And then that night, you're just kind of like, we had a big breakfast. Now we can just have kind of a counter service over, hop over to Epcot, maybe have Japan or fish and chips or whatever. And you're just like, that's a good day. You know what I'm saying? You're not even like looking for a table service meal that night. Like you don't need to put a beer garden on top of that, man. They just put you in a coma.
Well, and it's such a good value too, because like Akershus you can use as your table service meal for breakfast, but you can't use it for dinner. It would be a more signature. I think they call it a signature meal, right? And you need to use 2 credits for that. Or they wouldn't call it a signature meal, they'd call it a 2-credit character meal. So that's a great strategy to use for that. But I mean, definitely, it's so funny when the dining plan came back, we as a team, we did like all this research and we were looking at it and we were like, okay, seriously, if you're eating at some of the character meals, you're killing it if you get the dining plan.
You almost lose money with kids too a lot of times because
yes.
And plus you're prepaying for it, which to me it's how my brain works, and this is why I like cruising. I prefer things to be prepaid, and that way I'm on vacation. I'm mentally not having to make calculations when I look at menus. Like I just want to be like, it's already done. You know what? I'm on vacation. Yeah. I've already paid for it 2 months ago, 1 month ago, and let's just enjoy the moment. You know, because when I'm on vacation, I will order something cheaper if I'm paying for it in the moment. Like this, I can't help it. I'm tight. It's my grandma and me. I'm Not cheap.
It is. Yes. But if you are dining at some of those places and or if you have kids on that are qualified for kids prices, you're really leaving money on the table if you don't at least explore the dining plan. So
I agree. All right. Greg Zan has a question here. Do you think Disney World is going to have a special ticket for the end of 2024? We love the 3-park ticket, but it wasn't valid for our November dates.
I
That's
know.
probably best no, because just the end of the year is super popular with the holidays, right?
That's these special tickets are typically offered summer/beginning of fall. And I know lots of people wish that they were available all year long, and they're just not. They haven't really offered them during this end of year time in the past, so I don't predict that we'll see them again. Anything can happen for sure. And the good news is, like I mentioned before, this is one of those incidents, like if you're including the ticket as part of your package, then if at a later date a special ticket comes out, we can typically alter your package to include that new ticket type. If you're purchasing standalone tickets, that is the time where you're sometimes stuck with that because yeah, you are. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Okay. Next question comes from Jen. Thanks for joining us over on Facebook. Jen, with rising prices, where do you think you get the best bang for your buck in the deluxe resort category at this time? Great question.
It is.
Bang for your buck in the deluxe resort category.
I know. It's tough too because there's a lot of different factors into it.
It really depends on what you're looking for. You're looking
It
for
does.
proximity to the parks. You're looking for amenities at the resort.
I know.
Dining.
I have a couple of answers.
Okay.
I'll Forrester it up here.
This is more your
yes.
Hey, I'm more
the deluxes are my
you guy. Yeah, go ahead.
So I think if you're looking straight on price alone, you can find some of the least expensive prices at both Wilderness Lodge and Animal Kingdom Lodge in their standard room offerings. They just are the least expensive, and some of the reasons are that their standard rooms don't accommodate up to 5 guests. All their standard rooms only accommodate 4, where all the other deluxe resorts have standard rooms that do accommodate 5 guests. So that's something to think about depending on your party size. Now, I will say I also love Animal Kingdom Lodge and Wilderness Lodge. The Wilderness Lodge is back and forth as one of my top hotels all the time. Every time I stay there, when I leave wishing I had more time at that resort. Every single stinking time. So when I stay at the Wilderness Lodge, I truly love to get one of the woods view rooms or one of the rooms that overlook the pool because it really enhances my stay that much. I love sitting on the balcony and being able to hear the noise from the pool sort of echoing around that area there. It's fantastic. And when I stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge, I also really enjoy the Savannah View rooms. For me, that is an upgrade that I'm willing to pay for. So then that sort of makes them not the least expensive always. So in my other realm of where you get the most bang for your buck, I have to say those Epcot resorts for a couple of different reasons. First of all, the fact that you can walk to 2 different parks, I think is huge. It just is. And they're parks that are good to walk into at any time. So you can walk to Epcot and you can walk to Hollywood Studios. The other thing is that you have great access to the Skyliner, which also opens up another world of possibilities for you, not just with theme parks, but also with resorts. So I love those too. So I don't know, Mike, what do you think? Like if you're like thinking value here, like cost versus benefits.
Because I mean, this is what I do every day, obviously, because I'm looking at prices for times and stuff.
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom Wilderness Lodge is going to give you the lower cost on the deluxe resort. And philosophically, though, when I think about this, I think a lot of folks, when they go to book a deluxe, you're always thinking things like, I think your mind is always drawn to like Beach Club, Yacht Club, or like those Epcot ones, and of course the monorail resorts. I think a lot of people do like front of mind, don't think of places like Wilderness Lodge. I think Wilderness Lodge is always forgotten. I think Animal Kingdom Lodge, maybe not so much. Maybe it is, but maybe not. But I think you nailed it. Like I have never left Wilderness Lodge like not overwhelmed by how cool the stay was, because it's just such a beautiful, amazing resort with great amenities. Because Jen came back and said, "What about the amenities?" I love the amenities of Wilderness Lodge. I think it has great dining options. I'm a huge fan of Roaring Fork. Geyser Point is one of the greatest places to enjoy just a chill, relaxed, good meal outside.
Yeah, if that were in my neighborhood, that would be dangerous.
Amen. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, how cool would it be to have Geyser Point like across the street in your subdivision? I'd be broke. I mean,
the owners would know me by name. They would send me Christmas cards. We would.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so great. I mean, the pool there is amazing. He's got great slide for the kids. It's just, you know, because like you said, it's got an energy to it because kind of that horseshoe shape. You got that great boat ride over to the Magic Kingdom. It's really got it. It just has those fir trees just make it so comfortable.
They do. It's like a picture in so many different ways.
It's like it's so secluded, yet you are a hop, skip, and a jump from the Magic Kingdom. I mean, I never
boat ride.
I love it. I mean, I love staying there, but then so many times when I'm thinking, okay, we're going. Wilderness Lodge is never front of mind when it comes time to like put pen to paper. I always forget it's there. Like it's never front of mind. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because it's secluded.
Maybe. Yeah, I know. And I also think too, you know, while I didn't mention this the first time I answered it, for those who have young kids and are going to spend the majority of their time in the Magic Kingdom, the monorail is it is a huge benefit. It just is in that space. And the Contemporary in particular, because you have the garden view rooms, the garden wing rooms there, which are not in the main tower. They're actually in an offsite, like not offsite, but not in that main building. They're in an off building. And you can walk over to the Magic Kingdom. So walking in monorail there makes that a great choice too. There's just so many things to think about. For me, though, I always say, I think what it comes back to is theming. You know, what do you really like in the theming? And I think that is impactful to each guest to consider that as part of their thing, because Disney does a themed resort, you know, as well as anyone does. And I think you should consider that when you think about it.
It's definitely Animal Kingdom Lodge, Wilderness Lodge, and especially, I mean, the holidays tip Wilderness Lodge way over. I mean, if you're there from, you know, November, December, definitely. I mean, Wilderness Lodge is just like a Christmas card.
It is.
I mean, you walk in there because I don't stay there every holidays, but I mean, if I'm at Walt Disney World anytime the Christmas tree's up, you better believe I'm catching that boat over just to check it out.
For sure.
That cool. All right, question from
Nanya
Biz. It is he's got his New York Jets on his profile over on Twitter. I love this. This is so perfect. It's a New York guy in a Jet shirt and his name's Nanya Biz. This is so perfect. I shout out Nanya Biz. He's our Be Our Guest podcast listener of the week. Right there. Anyway, and it's not spamming us because it's a real question. Best tip for Alani for a first-time visitor, non-DVC hotel only. Is Ocean View worth the extra cost there? Pam, you've stayed there. What do you think?
It's hard to say because it is an ocean view, but it's not it's set back from the ocean. So you're not going to be like right there. And it's really challenging. This is not a Disney thing. This is an ocean view room category thing. When you're getting an ocean view at any resort, let me just give you a heads up, my friends. Some places, when they say ocean view, if you can lean out your balcony and crane your neck a little bit,
rubberneck is like a rubberneck right? On the interstate.
Yes, and see a bit of the ocean. That's considered ocean view. Now, Disney is a little more respectful of that room category, that you are going to be able to see the ocean from your balcony, but it's just something to keep in mind. And one of the other things that you probably want to do is see if you can get a good aerial shot of the resort. You will see that the resort is sort of set back from the ocean. So there's a bit of space there between your ocean view room and the water there. For those of you, and this isn't a Disney thing, but after I gave that little, put the fear into you of the ocean view thing, one of the things that you can get, not at Alani, at other resorts, is ocean front. And an ocean front room is going to be what, the rest of us think of as Ocean View. So, anyways, it's hard for me to say because the whole resort is beautiful. And if this is going to add significant cost to your room, I don't know that I would make this a priority. The priority is to get over to Aulani because it's gorgeous and it's beautiful. And I love staying there. I've been to Hawaii before, but Aulani to me just felt very different because of where it's located, because it's not in the middle of everything down there at Waikiki. And it's set, set away from that can get craziness. But it was a piece of Disney too there and felt really familiar and fun and sort of like going home. And yet still was just beautiful. So I don't know that I would say that it is necessary. I think it really just depends on how much more it's going to add to the cost of your particular stay.
That honest opinion, like you don't have to make the upgrade. You can just walk down and see it. It's there.
Yes. Yes.
You can't miss it. It's the ocean and it's the Pacific. It's the biggest of them all. It's there, and it calls to you like Moana. Right, hey, we got to go to the inbox and get one of these questions. Shout out to Jason too. Said never got a chance to tune in live before. This is so fun. Jason, glad to have you over on YouTube today. Thanks for making it over. Appreciate you. Cindy says, hey, Mike and crew, just got back from Walt Disney World. Now I'm thinking about a Disneyland trip for 2025 in November. We're traveling from Toronto, Canada. Here's my question. Is it better to fly to Vancouver, rent a car, and drive down the coast? Or is it better to fly directly to Anaheim area? If so, which airport is best for Disneyland? Thanks for all you do, keeping the Disney spirit and the community alive and fun. Cindy Lou in the clubhouse in Toronto. I mean, I would fly directly to Anaheim. That's obviously your easiest bet. But I mean, I guess if you want to make it the road trip, because that's going to be a heck of a road trip for
it is going to be California.
That's probably what that'd be like 15 hours probably or more. That's I don't know how far that is, but I'm guessing that's at least a day.
Yeah, it would take a long chunk of your time. It really would. I would fly into the Los Angeles area for that. And the good news is you will waste a lot of your time flying from Vancouver. I mean, from Vancouver down is quite a long ways. I'm not good with how long, but it would take
at least a day. I mean,
I agree.
Northern California to
yes,
Anaheim that's at least 8 hours, I'm guessing. And so you'd have to go from Washington State through Oregon. I mean, it's got to be almost 2 days.
I agree.
I don't want to Google it right now, but I mean, it's got to be in excess of at least 12 hours driving.
Agreed.
Fly.
I know. I wish I knew.
Flying to Anaheim. Let's just say that.
21 hours and 40 minutes.
Holy cow! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Why? So, oh my god! Fly to Anaheim. That's crazy. Yeah. So unless you're really into road trips,
it's beautiful. You will see some beautiful scenery.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't even know that would be along the coast. That's probably going to be straight down. So the coast at different times, like the roads get backed up, and you're not traveling at 65, 70 miles per hour. So that's probably going to add a bit to your drive too. The good news is there are a lot of airports that are close to Anaheim, and hopefully you can find one that has a great price for you. You not only have LAX, which is about 40 miles away from Anaheim, but you also have Long Beach, you have Ontario, and you have Hollywood Burbank. So you can fly into any of those, and you will be able to get to the Disneyland resort really easily. And what I wanted to say is, we love this attitude where you just got home from one trip and you got to plan another one, because that is literally how I feel every time I get home. No matter how long I've been gone, I have to look forward to what's my next trip. So
absolutely. And it is a good thing. I mean, I've flown into LAX. LAX is kind of fun because it's like the big airport and there's a lot of options. I mean, there's tons of options, but I've said this many times. I've loved flying into John Wayne, because it is just like going back in time. Like they let you off the plane, like they drive the steps up to the plane and you walk right outside, and like your luggage claims outside there. It is, if you can get a flight into John Wayne, you got to do it once, because it is so small. I swear, I was like, am I on a movie set? Like we were taking pictures like crazy. I'm like, Pam, we gotta get a selfie. Like we're on the steps, like we're outside.
It's
Weather's
true.
great. I mean, it's just like it's like nothing else. Like
It
John
feels like the flying golden age, really is, doesn't it?
you just never get to see the outside of the plane like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
Like you're on the stairs and everything. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. All right, last question of the day. But get out there. It is Disneyland is the bomb. Get out there. All right, Jessica's got the last question of the day. Jessica from New Jersey. Hello, BOGP crew. The end of next month, I'll be heading to Disney for a Halloween on the High Seas cruise on the Disney Wish, then a few days in the parks after, and doing the Halloween party on Halloween night. I would say Jessica is going to be all Halloween up.
Yes, for sure.
Doing all the Halloween. The night before the cruise, I was able to get a Saratoga treehouse villa. And then after, we're doing a split stay in two of my favorite resorts, the Riv and the Grand Floridian. I'm super excited to have the two random questions for you guys. We usually rent a stroller from Kingdom Strollers to be delivered to the resort when we check in. We're going to have it delivered to the Riviera the day before we get off the ship and grab it and head to Animal Kingdom while we wait for our room to be ready. I'm not really a cruise expert and have only been on one other a few years ago. What time do you think would be safe to have it delivered to the Riv? We will have our car with us. Also, one last small question. Do they still decorate for Christmas over the night after Halloween? Our last park day is November 1st in the Magic Kingdom. I was hoping for a little Christmas decorations before we left. Thanks for all you do so much, Jessica from New Jersey. So what about the question about what time?
So you have to be off the ship by 9:30-ish, right?
They're aggressive because they're flipping the ship.
Yeah, they are. So let's say 9 to do the pickup there. And so I would say you're probably safe to get at 10:30, 11, Mike, don't you think?
Yes. Yeah, it's 11, I would say.
Yeah, Mike's going to be a little more cautious on that.
I'm always cautious on those kind of things.
You are. No, and I agree. It makes sense. You don't want it to be there. You don't want them to be trying to deliver it and you're not being there. So I think by 11, you should be there. Unless you're walking off. If you're walking off the ship, then it can probably be a little earlier. Walking off the ship means that you're not going to give your luggage to them the night before. You're going to carry it all off yourself. And you are going to leave before you've eaten breakfast or anything else that morning.
That's super early if you're going before dinner the night before.
Right. And you got to swim. Yes.
You're not even ported yet.
Right. There are fights on who has to take the big piece of luggage.
Exactly. You're like Rose and Jack.
Yes, exactly.
Somebody's not getting on the door.
Yeah. So, I think the 11 o'clock, although you may be there a little early, what you can do is just to let the hotel know that you're there and explore your resort a little bit. And then you're off to the parks.
I'm trying to see the calendar, because November 1st, Halloween party is is a Thursday. The Halloween, they'll probably have a Halloween party on November 1st because it's a Friday. I would guess. Because November 1st is a Friday night. I would not be shocked if there's a Halloween party on November 1st.
I don't have the calendar right in front of me.
I don't know. I don't know when the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween parties are because I don't have it pulled up. But here's the thing. There used to be this big thing that Disney snaps their fingers and it goes from Halloween to Christmas, like in one night. And it kind of does in some of the parks, but it is a process.
It
doesn't happen overnight.
And the times go up. Right. The times when you see the most dramatic thing is leading up to the first Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party after the first Mickey's Not So Scary. And I will tell you, the first Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party this year is November 8th. So it's a little further into November. And one of the things we know is what happens is by Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party, the first one, they're going to have most of the decorations up in the Magic Kingdom. They are likely not going to have them up much at any of the other parks and probably won't have them up at the resorts at that point in time. They do slowly start, but but the Magic Kingdom is the place where they have them up first, and that is by Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Like, come on, Disney. Could you make these names any longer, more complicated, more apt to tongue tie people?
That's what they do since we've been doing it for 16 years. We're getting good at it, deciphering things on the fly in these emails. That's it's my lot in life, as C3PO says in episode 4.
We need a C3PO with all his different languages that he speaks.
Yes, I'm fluent in 6
The last one is actually the last Not So Scary is the 31st.
Oh, really? They're not going. See, because I've always thought like that last one should be kind of like Big Lots. Like it should be, something. Right. Yeah, why have it at that point? I'm glad. Cut it off at the Halloween. I mean, that's how.
Yeah, that is. But they have a full 8 days now to get ready for.
This one's for Disney. Thank you. Thank you for stopping Halloween on Halloween and not going for the cash grab on Friday night.
Right, agreed. So
not starting the Christmas party until the next Friday.
Right.
Week.
Yes.
You get a whole week of nothing.
So look for those decorations at the Magic Kingdom, but probably not at the other parks, or they may be starting to toward the end. But
you can throw in a background loop. That's not too hard. Just hit play on the CD player.
Right.
Yeah,
yes. Who runs that CD player, dude?
It's a CD player, right? It's got to be like
it's not a cassette, my friend.
No, it's in my little mind's eye, my little mind's eye. It's a 5 CD changer.
Oh, there you go. Yes. Yes.
Such a shuffle.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not such a shuffle. It's programmed because it's.
It's 100% programmed because it's like when the background loops are on, like when I have them play in my office or something, I know what song is coming next.
Oh, 100%.
And when you're in the parks, then you know what song's coming.
Yeah, because if it was like a different order, dude, it would put me in such like whatever. I forgot my educational terms, but dysmorphia or whatever. I'd be like, whoa, don't rock.
You'd be like, this is not the right song. They skipped a song.
Dude, that can't happen, Disney. We're gonna have to have a blog post and 10 podcast episodes about that.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, we gotta get out of here. All right, we're gonna be back on Friday, and we're gonna talk about something very important: small little things that can absolutely destroy your Disney day, like when you're on vacation, like just forgetting 1 or 2 little things, or just little minor missteps that can cause tragic consequences later in the day. So we're going to try to make sure you don't think about you don't forget about these things that can cause, then not catastrophic things. We're just kind of hyperbole here, but just little things that can cause you to have, not so pleasant day later on your Disney vacation. We don't want you to do these things. We're going to help you to avoid these kind of things, and join us if you're joined in live. We have a lot of folks tuned in live right now. Hang out with us and give us your thoughts so we can all have a better Disney vacation as we get down to our favorite places here over the next few months. All right, don't forget our show always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan that next trip, whether it's to see the pumpkins during the fall Halloween season, to see all the Christmas lights here soon, or just to get down there and have a good time. Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney. We're standing by, no additional cost to you. That's the greatest deal out there. And first-class service each and every time. Check out all the details right now over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make the show possible. It's just $5 a month. And for that, you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. Coming over this week, we'd love to have you at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give us a follow on the social media. Pam is at TMFLT Pam. I'm at BRGuest Mike. We'd love to connect with you on the social media, and we are always talking Disney over in the Clubhouse. We have our Discord server. You can connect with us 24/7, 365 at beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. I'll be looking to give you a welcome as soon as you join us over there this week. And join us this Sunday night. We'll have the live call-in show at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We open up the phone lines and turn the show over to you. And we just have a good time talking Disney. We had a blast last Sunday night. We're going to do it again this Sunday night. So come on over, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. give us a holler and let's talk Disney on Sunday night to wrap the weekend. All right, till we get back together again on Friday. We're going to have a good time with that. So till then, you guys have a great midweek. So for Pam, I'm Mike. Wishing you a great Wednesday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Let me say that. Episode 2561. Oh no, I thought it was different, Jason. That is, wait, your team won. The Seminoles. So I got the new phone. It's got really good audio. That's the one thing about it.
Oh, really?
Yes, because you can change the audio, and even without AirPods, it sounds like quality. It's really cool.
Good to know.
That'll be good for the crews making videos. Ben and I are already plotting stuff.
Are you? Yeah, it'll be a good time.
We're gonna have characters and stuff. Oh, yeah.
It'll be a good time.
I haven't heard anything yet from Disney, but when we do, we'll be ready. I know the itinerary because I got it from Frankie.
Well, since they let me know that I needed to send in the names, like I won't even it's typical. Hurry up and wait. That's what we do.
I mean, yeah, I'm not worried, but yeah, it's a day at sea in Castaway. Is that what ours is?
That's good.
Yep. I was like, I probably want to get off at Castaway because I want to see the ship.
I know. Yeah, me too. I'll be on the one right before you, and then I get to go up to New York and see her when she comes in. So
nice.
I know. I'm looking forward to that.
I know you have to get a new pirate costume. Beat up.
Yes.
Got me adventures out there, baby. All right, so let's just do this. Thank you, Wendy. Appreciate that. She said, "Thank you for a great show. We appreciate you being here."
We do.
Great question, and enjoy seeing the leg lamp and the college. I don't know what college you're going to. All right, here we go. 25653 65253. Scott might join us. I gave him the link. He might jump in. We'll see. Welcome to episode 2563 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're getting ready for an awesome weekend. It is homecoming weekend, HOCO, here in Francis Howell. That's right. We're taking on the Fort Zumwalt West Jaguars, which when you travel over to their home stadium, when they score touchdowns, which is rare when we play against them typically, they have this thing that happens.
Oh, wow.
Aggressive, man. It's because we don't have sound effects like when we score. We just have fireworks. We have pyro. So I guess that is aggressive. They probably think that's pretty aggressive when we score touchdowns on them. Because the Norfleet family sponsors our pyro, and sometimes we used to run out when we had a really good team. This year, we're young. A lot of our players are playing for Mizzou because they've graduated. We have 6 guys that play for Mizzou right now, so we're a young squad, and we're taking our lumps this year, playing really good teams. But yeah, so it's HOCO. So a lot of stuff happening here this weekend. Always exciting when your town's going through homecoming. So hope you're planning to have a great weekend wherever this show finds you. Getting ready to talk some Disney and joining me. Have a good time. Pam Forrester, she's co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. Pam, homecoming, your area. Any big memories from homecomings passed up your way? What's up?
So when I went to high school, our mascot was a Mustang.
Nice.
We were the Mustangs.
You're the Hawks back in the day. Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. Like I always think like there's some mascots that are easier to sort of personify than others, right? A Mustang's a little hard just because Like the horse doesn't typically walk around on two
True.
legs.
That is true.
So what are you doing? Are you down on all fours? Are you whatever? I don't
I
know.
mean, it's kind of like Bullseye, right? I mean, because so they had
True.
on the Disney Cruise Line, right? They had this for a while there. They had this like breakfast upsell where you could have that experience with Jesse, and Bullseye came out and did a little dance.
Yeah.
That's a tough gig there. Bullseye there.
Yeah, it is. I agree. I mean, it does make sense because Bullseye did kind of walk around. Well, he did
It's kind of
both.
awkward.
Yeah, it was.
A little bit.
It is for everyone, but I mean,
I think I'm going back to last Friday's show. Like having a conversation with Bullseye, not the easiest
right?
thing in the world.
Yes, like because Bullseye doesn't talk in the best of times.
Exactly. It's a little awkward on all
right. So you're like, are you getting what I'm saying? Are you not?
Yeah. Exactly.
So he's got to like do a lot of this and a lot of
exactly.
whatever.
How's Woody been? Exactly.
So anyways, yes, homecoming was a lot less formal when I was in school.
Oh my gosh, it is so strong. It's a whole thing of like growing up these days. Thank God we grew up when we did, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh my God. Like I couldn't imagine, like, because I mean it was just, and plus like when I was in high school, I mean, I had one girlfriend like all through high school, so like wasn't pressure, right? Like now it feels like everybody's got different relationships, most kids like all through high school, and like you got to do the whole like the guys ask Mallory like with the they show up like a football game, like the sign, right? Will you Hoko, and like it's like popping out of bushes with signs and all that stuff and posting it on social media. I was like, holy God, the pressure. Like, holy
I know.
smokes.
Agreed. What if like now as a married person that there were certain things that like you had to do to like ask Pam something, like if you had to be like, dinner please, or
I hardly see Pam like this week because like she's the vice president of the cheer boosters,
right?
Like we like do a whole bunch of stuff like all homecoming week with like Spirit Week and Powder Puff, and I won't see her this week, so yeah, that's a text message like, dude, you wanted me to Dallas Mecca for like 37 minutes so we can share fajitas and like I can see you before the football game. That's romance, baby. I'm telling you, at this point of our lives.
Right. I know. I was thinking
football game tonight. That's it.
I would have to come up with this elaborate scheme to ask Steve to plant like some of the stuff that I want planted in the yard. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe like I'm poster board. Like, I don't know. I'm going to need schooling on some of this. So anyways,
you just gave me a great idea. Like this afternoon, if I can find like an extra 20 minutes, because there's a Walgreens across the street. I'm running over to Walgreens and getting a poster board, and I'm just gonna write on it, like because all the signs like it says like Hoko ?
Yes.
Boys will pop out and ask the girls around here. That's like the deal, and they post on social media. I'm just gonna make a sign that says fajitas ? And then just like text it to her, like I'll be holding it, like take a selfie, and just like totally text it to her like fajitas at 4:30 before the game.
I love it.
She'll block me. I'll never be able to text her.
Now you won't. Yeah.
Exactly. I'll be
She'll say no. Do you still post it if they say no?
I would, because I'm a dork. But it get great engagement numbers. So
I want to know if Pam says no.
She will. And she'll be like, why are you asking that? That's so dumb. That'd be her answer. Anyway, good luck to everybody at homecomings all throughout the world this season of homecomings, and just enjoy it. So today, anyway, speaking of disasters, that's kind of what we're talking about today. And we had a good time last week with our show. Thank you for the great feedback last week with last Friday's show, where we just kind of went around. Ricky was joining us. She's, of course, went down to Walt Disney World this past weekend, so she was still there as we recorded, went to the Halloween party, had some fun with Lucy and Brian, went to all the parks. We'd love to give her, she did a couple podcasts and they had to take a month off. No, just kidding. We love Ricky. But she got down there, got to have a good time, went over to Universal and stuff. But it was fun just talking about, interactions with face characters and the other characters and
all of our dumb questions.
Dumb questions, what. But man, over in the clubhouse, it really stirred conversation about the tracks you would add to Cosmic Rewind. I mean, we have some DJs in our audience. Great songs. Yes. I mean, we even have like a Halloween playlist they could add to Cosmic Rewind out of the 80s, or Christmas, like Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? That'd be awesome. But that was fun. So today, though, we're going to get a little practical because we're going to think about things on our Disney vacations, and we're going to talk cruise line. We're going to talk Disneyland, Walt Disney World. There's small things because, of course, there's like blog posts or like clickbait that you'll see on whatever that are like, oh, don't you avoid these 7 things you won't believe. Number 4. That's
right.
God, those things always get me on Apple News. I'm like, I'm a sucker.
I will not click anymore. I am not.
And I do. I'm like, I won't click. My finger, bam, boom, I hit it, and then it's like, and then you hit it, and the algorithm's like, he likes those kind of posts, so you get them for
right
7 years.
Yes.
Like, exactly. Like I clicked on one Tennessee thing like 2 weeks ago, and like, I'm getting Instagram ads for Tennessee stuff for the rest of my life. Like everything's orange. I'm like, I'm a Mizzou fan. I do not want to buy Vol Nikes. Stop. I like Peyton Manning. He's hilarious. I don't want to buy Tennessee stuff. Like I don't need a Tennessee football jersey. I'm a Mizzou fan. Like quit. I clicked on one Tennessee thing. Like stop. Algorithms kill me. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. So we're going to talk about things that if you don't think about these things, and they're easy to miss, but like mistakes, because these are mistakes like we've made it many times, and they can really put a damper on your Disney day, getting out the door and throughout the day. So I thought about this because one of the things that I have to make sure that I'm careful about is that I'm super prone to migraines. I get migraines really bad. And if I get one, when I get a migraine, usually I have it for like 3 or 4 days, and you just got to ride it out. That's just how it is. I've had these for years. I've had concussions from back in my speed skating days and hockey playing days. A lot of blows to the head. You would never know that from my podcasting, right? Yes, that's exactly why I am the way I am. But I do have a medicine that is prescribed to me, and it's super strong. But if I take it, it will knock the migraine out for like 8 hours, and I'm saved. So that pill but the thing is, with this prescription, you only get 9 of them at a time. I don't know what it is, but you don't get a lot of them. So they're like magic bullets. But when I leave the hotel room for the day, I got to make sure I have one of those with me, because when you're in a Disney park, you're riding coasters and you're out in the heat and you're on your feet all day. You're out in the bright sun. You know, I wear glasses now. I've had to make the transition from contacts to glasses like since COVID, because my eyes just aren't what they used to be. I don't like wearing glasses, but it's just one of those things. I'm older and I've decided I'd rather see better than look better. So that's just how it is. So just when I leave the room, I have to make sure, like, you know, you have like your stuff on the counter, like you got to make sure, but you know, these little pills, they're small, but I have left, and like taking a Tylenol or a couple of Advil, that doesn't cut it. When I start to get a migraine coming on, that doesn't work. I have to have one of these magic bullet pills for my migraine. And if I can take that right away, day saved. I can keep going. I feel great. But if I don't, and I get a migraine, stomach will start hurting. I'll start getting nauseous. Like it's just, my day goes downhill so fast. And it's just such a bummer because your whole day is just ruined. And like I said, it'll just carry on. It's really hard to recover from that. So it's just one of those things, like I think one of the things to remember is, like, if you have like something like that, like prescription medication that can nip something like that symptoms in the bud, just the night before, just put it next to your magic band. You know, I would say like your keys or whatever, but you know, whatever you're going to take, your phone, probably not going to leave what are you less likely to leave the room without? Put it next to your phone, your magic band, what have you. But I have left without it, and I'm just like, oh, because by the time I go back to my room, it's too late. Like it takes 45 minutes. And once the migraine hits at a certain level, it doesn't even hardly work. So yeah, prescription medicines, if you got to have it in your pocket, because even if I don't get one that day, I feel better just knowing it's there. Like mentally, I'm just like, okay, I'm ready. Like if I get one, I'm good. So that kind of stuff, prescription medication, having it in my pocket makes me feel good. So that's kind of where I'm starting. Man, what about you?
Agreed. Yeah. So sort of on the same line, I always take my own water bottle. Like I always have it. I have all throughout the day, I have a water bottle that's sitting here next to me. But when I go into the parks or travel or anywhere, I have a water bottle. I fill it all the time. And if I don't have that, it's like, ugh, you know what I mean? Like, even though I know there are water bottles that are sold like in the park and whatever, I like, especially when it's hot, to drink water that's really cold, like with ice, the whole thing. And if I don't have the water bottle with me, it's just almost like you said, Mike, it's like the day's not ruined, but like I just feel so much better having it. And the great news is that if you do bring your own water bottle, you can get cups of water with ice at any of the quick service locations where they have like a fountain drink or something like that. So it's also a great way to save money if you're going to want to do that. I usually end up bringing my own water bottles with me. And I will get a cup of ice sometimes to sort of fill it in because I like certain water, but I just think like the water bottle is like huge for my enjoyment of the park for sure.
Does it bother you? Or like what kind do you carry around? Because maybe people are curious about that. Because I mean, like, carrying it around all day, that's not really for me. Like, I'm not a big. I get in huge trouble for this. Like my wife, and I'm especially being a runner. Like this is terrible. Like today, I've done 20 miles already today. Like on the treadmill and running this morning. Like I ran 12 and I've already walked 8. Like before we've done the podcast. So I am a poster boy. Like I should be hydrated, right? I've had like 5 Coke Zeros today and 0 water. Like this is why I have the problem.
Kidney stones. This is why you get kidney stones.
Yeah. You are like a month ago. Exactly. I mean, you're drinking out of your water right there.
I know. You're like, I'm like thinking about it and I'm like,
exactly. And I've had the second Coke Zero since we've been recording. This is why I have this. Why my doctors 100%. Are like, you're an idiot. Yeah. But like Carrie, so my girls got me a Stanley, right?
Yeah, I don't take my Stanley into the park.
That thing is a tank. It's too big.
Yeah,
like,
it is
heavy. I mean, but what do you recommend?
It is. So I've had Hydro Flasks. I've had Contigas. I've had the brand that Disney sells.
Oh, the Corksicle?
I've had Corksicles. I've liked them all for different reasons, but I will tell you, I recently dropped my Corksicle on the cement from like sort of a high thing and it didn't fare well. After that, I know I was like, I have to get a new one. So I was looking on Amazon trying to figure out what I was going to order, and I ordered a new one. It's called Iron Flask, and they're there on Amazon. They're not super expensive. They're not as expensive as the Corksicles or the Hydro Flasks or any of them, and I've been really happy with it. They come in like lots of different designs. You have to figure out which one sort of works for you. I like one that's not quite so big, but I want something that's going to keep that ice cold for a big chunk of the day if I can. But check them out you can get them on Amazon. I'm sure other places too, but Iron Flask, I've been happy with it. And I like to have one that doesn't have too many different bells and whistles. Like I get a little skeeved out if I'm like working this like complicated apparatus, like for drinking it, that like, I'm not sure how I'm going to get in there and clean some of those spaces. And that whole thing kind of grosses me out. But I do really like this one. And I like the colors that it was available in and the styles. So I want something that's going to fit in my bag. It's easy. It's not going to be too heavy. And it's just essential for my park day.
Okay, good point. So my next one, again, I think a lot of these things are, maybe it's just my personality, but I think a lot of us, maybe not a lot of us, but I think there are folks in our audience that probably are similar to me. I don't know if we have the same wavelength, but I think there are a lot of people that maybe are like me. I need mental, like, a lot of these things I may not use throughout the day, but if I don't have them, I'm in mental disarray all day, like immediately, even though I don't need it for probably the first 50% of my day. I'm worried about it at 9:30 in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, and I don't need to be worried about it at least until 4 o'clock. And it's having external batteries in my pocket for my devices. And the thing is, like, I usually have, an iPhone in my pocket, and I'm a pretty heavy user of it. I mean, we all have to use them for the My Disney Experience app. We're obviously always taking videos and pictures of cool stuff we see in the parks. I don't listen to any kind of audio or watch videos while I'm in the parks because I'm being in the moment, but I am definitely a person who takes a lot of video, a lot of pictures, and I will post a ton to social media while I'm in the park. So I do deplete my battery at a pretty moderate to decent rate throughout the day. But I tend to, I always get the Pro Max version of the phone, and it has a pretty honking battery, so it can last most of the day. And a lot of times I do go back midday and take a break, and that's not only a recharge for Mike Rallman, that's a recharge for all my devices. So many times I don't even I go through the vacation many times and will use my external battery maybe once or twice throughout the whole week. I don't use it every single day because when I go back midday, my batteries have made it. I plug them in when I take my nap and I'm good for the night. So I don't even use my external batteries. But if I don't have it, like if I leave it sitting back at the hotel, mentally I'm freaked out that I'm going to run out of juice on my phone. And it stresses me to no limits. Like I'm one of those people that if my phone gets to 50% depleted, I am a worry wart. Now Mallory, don't get me wrong here. Now here's where this drives me wild. She will go out of the house with her phone like at 8%. No problem. She'll roll out 8% battery. I would not leave this house with my battery under like 90%. That would be a red alert. There's no way. But she has like, and then she'll be like, Dad, do you have an external battery? I'm like, yes, but they're all dead because I've given them all to you and you never return them. You never recharge them. You think they magically recharge. They never do. But that, again, we've had shows like where at night, the night before, you got to have like, I'm the dad. I'm like the recharge genie. I have to recharge everybody's external batteries. I have to have a system in the hotel room. But it's one of those things that if you leave the room without your external battery, and this is where I think it really, nowadays, the technology has become so good. You can get those external batteries that are almost like credit card size. I mean, they're so thin. And a lot of them are like MagSafe, so they can just thunk right back onto your phone. You don't even need a cord at this point. A lot of times, I have one now that just goes thunk right onto the back of my phone case, no cord necessary, and it just sits there and recharges my phone if I need it. But I mean, just having that in my pocket gives me peace of mind, knowing I probably don't need it, but if I do, I can get another 5 hours out of my phone. So I think, again, disaster averted, having extra juice in your pocket if you need it.
Yeah, I agree. I have one that I keep it in my park bag, and I don't need it all the time, but when you do need it, you do. And I have a cord that I keep in there too, because I have a phone that has where it keeps my credit card there too, and I cannot get away from that. It has, since I got that feature years ago, it changed my life, like, because I can leave the house with my phone, period. It has my license and a credit card in it, always. So there are not many that can charge the phone when you have that there, because you can't have that. It doesn't work through the credit cards. You know what I mean? So I have to have the external battery and a cord. So I keep them in my park bags, period, because if you may not need it, but when you do, you need it. And that's just all there is to it.
Well, so I will say one thing, and it was because like I've seen Hannah use this for years and you. So I hadn't used like MagSafe on my phones. And again, this is something I think a lot of people think about for their Disney vacations, because it's when you're really kind of thinking about how you use your technology well, because you're using it a lot more on a vacation, and it's front of mind, right? So I got a MagSafe case, and instead of, I always had just a case with like a pop socket on it that kind of was like attached by glue, right? It was just like part of the case. You had to like actually stick it on there with like glue or like some kind of adhesive. Now I got one that's a MagSafe case. I got a pop socket that like magnetics to it. It goes, just like, it's a super strong magnet. But then I got, like you guys have, it's a wallet like pop socket case. So it has space for 4 credit cards, but it's also a pop socket on the outside of that little wallet. Changed my life. I've not had to carry around my regular old man wallet that's got like 50 kind of cards in it. It just has my driver's license, my Disney Visa, my bank card, and my health card, like my health insurance card. So 4 things in it. And it's got a pop socket on the outside of it so that I can like sit my phone up if I want to watch a football game at the restaurant or something, or, use it as a pop socket to hold it up and, carry it around. It's life-changing. But it also, like you say, I can just rip it off real quick. It's a magnet. And if I put that little charger on there in the parks and get some juice while I'm having dinner, it's those kind of things. Thinking about that before a trip, like having those it's like $25 on the pop socket or popsocket.com.
Yeah.
And do I use it every day? Well, actually I do. I mean, so I leave it right on my keys, right? So like anytime I get in my Jeep, I switch my little bitty pop socket. I take that off, leave that there, put the little pop socket wallet right on my phone. And that's what I use when I leave the house. As soon as I get back and put my keys down, boom, put my little pop socket back on, put the pop socket wallet back with my keys.
I know.
Great. But that's great for a vacation because you have everything you need right there in your phone. You got your,
it's true.
Your, and then you got your Magic Band and you're set. You got everything you need.
It is. I love it too. It just, it makes life like easier. And on the same note, I will say the other thing I have on my phone is, and I use this primarily when traveling, is there is a little like loop. And what happens is it comes with this credit card that has a little almost material, but like a nylon loop at the end. And you put it, before you put on your phone case, you put it there and it pops out the bottom where you plug in your phone, where you plug in your lightning cord or something. This little loop here connects to a lanyard that I can wear around my neck and have my phone dangle. And it's really helpful, especially when you're traveling, to go hands-free with your phone, right? Because like, I don't like putting it in a pocket, or if I don't have a bag, I can still have my phone, and the phone sort of hangs. It's a long lanyard, hangs around your neck, or you can crossbody it or whatever you want to do, but then you're hands-free with that. And the other thing it does, like when you're cruising or stuff like that, I hook it up, especially when you're taking pictures like off the side of the ship or whatever.
You're playing games like $1,500 phones sometimes.
Right. And it does give you an extra layer of protection in that space. And I use it primarily when traveling. But again, this is one of the few times that if I walk out the door without it, that is the time I need it, right? During, like, I'm like, I'm so tired of like having my phone in my hand or whatever. Or I wish I could just whatever. And this is another thing that I like to take during the day, because if I don't have it, it's like, I really wish I did.
Well, so you mentioned that you've mentioned a travel bag many times. I used to always take a travel bag, like a backpack, to the parks. Always did. And for the past few years, I have not. Since Mallory got older, I've just kind of thrown stuff in my pockets, and I've traveled lightly because I go back to take a midday break typically when I'm on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you always take a travel bag each day when you leave for the parks, or how do you determine like when you travel bag it, or when you just kind of go with a few items? Like how do you?
I don't always. I will say primarily just because it's easier to have that, and like then it holds the water bottle, it holds, the extra batteries, it kind of holds all that stuff. But there are some days when I like intentionally go light. I will say it's probably not a day that I'm spending a huge amount of time in the park. Like I'm going to go in, do something, come out, or I know I'm going to intentionally take a break. I don't know that I could go a whole day without some kind of bag, I think, just because I don't take a ton into the park, but what I take is like important. And the water bottle takes up space, and the external battery takes up space. Like those kind of things do take up space. And if I didn't have a bag, it'd be harder to do that. I think guys have it easier because you still have the ability to do like shorts that have like a cargo shorts.
I was going to say that is the cargo shorts, not typically fashionable, and I agree, but dads, who cares? And here's the thing, like I've always thought this is like the ultimate hack of like you can get around the bag line. And the zoo game the other day, somebody totally said this in line, like we're going through the bag check, and in the SEC in our football league, there's a clear bag policy, right? And they have these special bags, these purses, basically the women have to buy. Pam has one because we're season ticket holders. She uses it every game. It's got the Mizzou logo on it, but it's clear, and it has to be this exact size. And all the women at our football stadium have the same one. And so you just walk through and they look at it because it's clear. Boom, you go through. And this guy who's from Boston College was in the line next to us, dude, big old baggy shorts. He went through with like 2 beers, and he's like, I'm like, I know he got him in because he had on cargo shorts.
Right.
I'm like, score, dude. You're exactly right. You could bring in anything with it because we don't go through metal detectors or anything.
Right.
And that's what you could do at Disney. And for years, dude, I came in I was like a guy going through the desert on a camel. I had so much in my shorts. That probably weighed 50 pounds. I had like my belt like was just cinched up so tight so I didn't lose my drawers. It was crazy.
I know.
Nobody said anything. I mean, those security guys know, oh my God, that dad's got 50 pounds worth of supplies in his shorts.
He brought lunch in his cargo shorts.
Sir, you are sagging beyond sagging. Please step aside.
Get that rotisserie chicken out of your cargo shorts pocket.
Yes. Please remove the 5-layer burrito from your pocket. Only some people will get that joke that watch college football this weekend. Jason will. Okay. So what other tips do you have that could lead to disaster if you're not thinking about this ahead of time?
So I will say this is not a disaster causing incident, but it is something that I think about. I've become used to my Magic Band Plus. Do I know I could enter with my watch? Sure. My phone? Yes. Is it so much easier to just do it with my Magic Band Plus? It is. It just is. Like, I'm not opening the app, hoping that it's going to work the first time I open it, making sure I have Wi-Fi connection and everything to pull that up. I mean, I'm being a little dramatic in that space, but the Magic Band just works every time. And I like the little special things it does. I like, interacting with the statues or whatnot. So I like the Magic Band Plus. I don't know. Do you still wear it or not?
I do, but here's the thing. I will counter that with saying I used to be a prisoner to I was super stressed if my Magic Band Plus was not charged because I thought originally that if it wasn't charged, it would not work. There was no functionality if it went dead. However, the important stuff will still work even if it's dead. The fun factor is what you're charging, like the statues and all that, and the blinking and the fireworks, all that stuff, like syncing up to all that.
Yeah.
That's cool. And so you want to charge it every night if you can. Just throw it on there when you charge it. Again, I think the best thing is before you go to bed every night, have a charging section of your hotel room for whoever it is in the family. Take care of everybody because everybody else is going to be slugs like in my family. I got to make sure I'm the person. And just boom. I mean, Pop Century probably dims when we plug in all our devices. It's crazy. It's like the grid. But I plug everything in. And so in the morning, everybody can just grab their stuff and put it on and put it in their pockets and go. But, ideally, everybody needs a full charge Magic Band. But if you don't have one, now don't worry about it because sometimes I'm just tired and I go to bed and it's still on my arm when I wake up in the morning, but I don't stress about it anymore because I can still use it to get in and charge. The biggest thing is to get in, park admission, and charge stuff to it. So.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like, the Magic Bands, that technology works to get into the park. I have never had a problem with my Magic Band not working. Never.
I never have issues with it.
No, me neither. So I don't know. But anyways, I just am used to it at this point. So.
And I'm glad Disneyland has added the Magic Band because I was there right as they made that transition. Mm-hmm. And I was like, people were like, oh, what are you doing? And I was like, boop. Because, I'm like a world guy, at Disneyland. And a lot of people out there, I guess, it was foreign to them. I'm walking. Because, when I use my Magic Band out there, I mean, even some of the cast members were like, what? I was like, I know, isn't this cool?
And Disneyland, I feel, is stressful to get in. You have to you can see everyone's ticket, but you got to find your ticket to scan and blah, blah, blah. It's just not.
It's kind of quaint, though. You know what? the little, I don't know if you call them ticket booths, not ticket booths, but the little huts or whatever. Smaller. I love the quaintness of the entry. I do kind of like that. It's kind of cute. It is. And the cast members they kind of take your picture the first time and they greet you. They're like, they were expecting you to come. They're like, oh, you finally made it out here, Mike. Oh no, what's going on? Hey, happy Tuesday. What's going on? Okay, here's another thing that in the parks that can lead to disaster. And I've said this for years, but I'm going to remind you. This is a trap. I mean, this is like Admiral Akbar in Return of the Jedi.
I'm waiting to hear this.
I wish I had it. I don't have it on the board. It's a trap. Here's the thing. Okay, so everybody should take the midday break because it recharges you. It gives you an opportunity to recharge your devices. Everybody's happy. Your phone, your whatever you need, your magic man, whatever needs.
Drink some water, Mike.
Yes, hydrate. Your kids get to swim in the pool. They've been like at 10:30, they start saying, I want to go swimming. Let them swim. They want to do that. But you go back to your hotel. But here's the thing. But let's do one more thing before we go back to the hotel trap. And that gets you so in trouble because like you say, okay, we're going to rope drop Magic Kingdom and we're going to hop out and take a midday break. And then we're going to go to another park in the evening. And that's a well-laid plan. That's well executed. The coach has laid out the game plan.
Yes.
Well done. But you got to stick to the plan no matter what happens. Like sometimes there's a curveball and sometimes you're like, well, we're having a great day. We're going to throw in one more thing. Oh, look, Big Thunder's only 20 minutes. Let's hop on that. Let's just do that before we leave. Okay. So then you're like, okay, well, we're going to get out of here before 11. We're going to go catch a quick lunch at Columbia Harbor House before we left. That's fine. But then, after that, look, we're messing around your phone. You see, oh, well, after that, we're really close to Big Thunder. We could just go do Big Thunder. It's only 20 minutes. Problem is you do that. And then that's 20-minute wait. The ride takes 10 minutes. You have to walk over there for another 10. Then on the way out, all of a sudden there's an afternoon parade that the kids want to watch.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden, instead of getting out of there at 11:30, you're getting out of the Magic Kingdom at 1:00. And all of a sudden you're not getting the afternoon break that you were expecting because you have an ADR like at 4:30 or 5 at Epcot. So you have a hard out that you got to get, you got to make your move to the evening plans. You can fall into that trap so easy. So what you got to do, if you're going to take that midday break, you kind of do have to commit to jumping out of that morning park at a certain time. I know that sometimes you're just like, you're having such fun that you want to just continue to keep going if like the morning's rolling. But if you have now, you can do that if you don't have like commitments on the back end. But a lot of times we'll have an evening ADR in another park, like at Epcot or the studios, whatever. If you have that evening ADR and you want to have a midday break, you got to commit to jumping out, even if the morning's going well. If that one more thing can get you so in trouble because it's not, you say it's a 20-minute wait, but that's going to be an hour of more time in that park. And it's going to eat up your midday break. So that's one of the things that gets me in trouble sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I mean, every little decision that you make, you don't want to overstate the importance of it, but at the same time, it can snowball for sure.
Always.
For sure. So on that same path, I'm going to go with the old tried and true. This one is, but I think it's easily lost in all these other things that you're remembering. You're going to want to have footwear.
Yes, that was on my list too. Okay. Nothing screws you up like a bad pair of shoes.
Right.
Even like really expensive shoes can mess you up if they're not the right shoes.
100%. They need to be broken in, first of all. I don't go buying new shoes and then be wearing them day one in the parks.
Don't try to look good. Dude, that's trying to look good on your vacation for Instagram.
Yes.
I'm the person for that. I look terrible on Instagram, but you know what? I'm comfortable. That's it.
And they need to be shoes that you've walked in significant distances in, and that they're comfortable.
Who are they? The Proclaimers. You got to walk 500 miles, and then you got to walk 500 more.
To walk 5,000 miles. The math doesn't seem to add up. It does feel like they must have been in Disney World when they came up with that because they were like that. But I will tell you, so I am like really picky about different footwear. I want it to fit right. I want it to work well. And there's a style of New Balance I buy all the time. Right out of the box, I can wear them. I don't typically have to break them in. Well, dumb me. Ordered a pair, stuck them in. I had them there. I'm like, I wear these shoes all the time. They'll be fine. Get them on first day. For some reason, this particular pair blister on the back of my heel. I'm like, you have got to be kidding. If I have bought this style one time, I bought it 100 times. Never had an issue. That time I did. So anyways, I didn't follow my own advice in that space. And, I paid the price for that. And then once you have a blister, you have it. I mean, it takes a surprisingly long time for that to heal the whole way. So I think it's just something that people overstate that. And even if you're someone who never has problems, this is one time that you absolutely don't want to have problems, because to be able to do all the things, you're going to have to walk there. So just keep that in mind. Bring comfortable footwear.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if you get that blister, it's especially at the beginning of a trip. I mean,
Yes.
it's not going to heal. I mean,
No.
it's only, I mean, your only prayer is that it's going to stay the same, and it's probably not. It's going to get worse. So then what you have to do is you got to get down to that gift shop and buy some Band-Aids and
Expensive Band-Aids, real Band-Aids, good Band-Aids.
and stuff like Neosporin that's got painkiller in it, and just nurse it. I mean, because you're paying the piper for that. You didn't do the right, you didn't go with the old reliable shoes.
Yeah, and you can't be trying to like use the Band-Aid, that janky Band-Aid that's been in your pocket or in the suitcase for the last 10 years. You have to get new, good, waterproof Band-Aids if you want any chance of it staying on that blister.
And you know what? Sometimes it's even worth like an Uber ride over to a Target or something
100%.
like that. Get those, because we do. You bring up that point. Like, I will buy as a runner. Because you got to take care of your feet sometimes, because your feet get jacked up when you run. And I mean, I had that. I mean, I was in the hospital on Mother's Day because that staph infection, because I let that thing get out of control. They're like, oh my God. When the doctor comes in the ER and looks at your foot, and they're like, oh, we got to take a picture of that. I'm like, oh, what? And then they start drawing a line like, okay, if it goes past this line, we got real trouble. I'm like, oh, what? But anyway, so yes, I buy the expensive Band-Aids now, but yeah, so Target's got those Band-Aids that are like super waterproof, and like you put it on there and you can take showers in it. And I mean, they do not move. So it's, at that point on a Disney vacation, if you're staying there for a week and it's day 2, I know Uber rides are like $15-$20, but I mean,
you have to do it.
You want to be in pain for 5 days for a $20? You spent $5,000 on a Disney vacation. Do you want to have a comfortable foot, for $15-$20? Just go over to Target and buy 7.
You want the Next Care bandage, the waterproof Next Care bandage.
And buy a little tube of Neosporin.
Yes, exactly. While you're there.
Is it an inconvenience? You're going to miss an hour of your vacation, 2 hours, but for the next 5 days, you're going to be a lot more comfortable, and you're going to also not get an infection. You're going to take care of yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's one of those things and I mean, I think also kind of as we wrap this show, maybe prepare yourself, like take a little bitty tube of Neosporin and maybe buy these Band-Aids.
Yes.
Throw them in a kit. And 90% of the time, you will not use these on your Disney vacation. But you know what? If you have to, what a relief, right? I mean, Pam, this is probably the best advice I could say is don't take that Uber ride. Don't take the Lyft ride. Have this in your toiletries kit, because these Band-Aids aren't cheap. They're like $10 for like 10 of them. But man, if you have to use them, you would pay $10 for one of them.
Yeah. In the park, you're like, my kingdom for a waterproof Band-Aid.
Because it'll save, because really it saves your vacation, because
it does.
It can take the pain out of your foot for the rest of the day. And I mean, we all know that if you're having mobility issues on a vacation, it's just, Walt Disney World is just an immense place. It's huge. And it would really ruin the quality of everybody. Because like if, mom, dad, the kids, because, the kids could get one too. And I mean, could you imagine the kid telling you they got a blister all day, all night for a week? Oh, that's a nightmare.
It is.
So any final thoughts? Wrapping this one up here on a Friday, just trying to be practical, because we want everybody to kind of consider things before they go, so they don't fall into these little kind of small traps. Have your devices ready to go. Magic bands still work even if they're not charged, but they're more fun if they are. Have your juice ready to go. I mean, not stuff that's life shattering, but I mean, if we can avoid, have your pills in your pocket if you need them, stuff like that.
Agreed. I think my biggest piece of advice, and this is for everyone, is that the most important thing that you're going to pack is a positive attitude and your attitude in general. There are absolutely going to be things that don't go the way you envisioned, don't go as planned, don't go, for lack of a better word, right during your vacation. But your ability to recover and, get on with your day, get back to doing the fun stuff and not over dwell. I have seen hundreds, maybe thousands of times, especially on vacation, someone have one little thing that goes wrong and they work themselves up into a bigger and bigger thing. I get it. There are some things that you're definitely going to have to address. And there are a lot of things that if you really take the time to think about it, it's not even worth your time to spend another moment of your precious vacation thinking about. There are fantastic memories created by things that don't go right. And truly, that is one of the beauties of it. If you have the ability to sort of frame the way you look at things and be like, oh my gosh, wasn't this the most hysterical thing that you have ever encountered or heard of or whatnot, then you will have a much better vacation. It's just, there is something positive. You just have to look for it. And I think a lot of that is just sort of reframing what happened. Instead of being like, oh my gosh, can you believe the Tron went down during the time I have it? Then find something else to occupy that time. Don't sit there waiting for it to come back up, for gosh sakes. Do something. You're on vacation. Even if you didn't get to do half of what you planned or a third of what you planned, you can still have a fantastic time. You are in control of that. There are many things you are not going to be able to control, but your attitude is something you can always control. And I will also just make another plea as a parent to show your children the resilience and optimism that happens, especially when things go wrong. When you can show your kids that, you're teaching them an incredibly valuable lesson. Don't let that go wasted.
And they will mirror that too down the line, right? They'll
100%.
say, you know what, this is fine. Like, and the kids
Right.
like sponges, right? That is a great point. I mean, I'm glad you brought that up, Pam, because Walt Disney World is such a great place to teach so many life lessons.
Yes.
And kids will pick things up good or bad, you know, because they will pick up, they see the bad behavior, because I mean, unfortunately, the stress of a Disney vacation does bring out the worst in people sometimes down there too. I mean,
it does.
It is stressful. So model the good. I mean, I know our listeners do, but you know, it is. I mean, I've gotten very stressed there at times. You know, you're there with a million people. Sometimes, like if it's a first or second trip, a lot of things are unfamiliar. There's a lot of like rules, you know, air quote rules that you have to follow, you know, procedures and stuff to get on attractions. And it's kind of high stakes at times, but you're there with the people you love and you're in a very cool environment, getting to do awesome stuff. So just soak it all in and just roll with the changes sometimes.
Yes, that's definitely it. I don't want to give the ability for my vacation to be impacted. I don't want to give that to anyone else but us. I want it to just be something that we control. And 99% of the time, that's what happens. So
I love it. So I keep going back, and I like to, you know, I always get to interact with amazing cast members, get to do, you know, comfortable stories. Like, you know, Jungle Cruise been on a million times, but I always get a kick out of it because there's always a new spin by a great Jungle Cruise skipper that brings a little bit of their personality into the attraction every time. At Haunted Mansion, I've been on that a million times, but always pick up something new. Like, I didn't notice that time. You know, it's just, there's something comfortable about it. Something, I just love the place. I love sitting on a bench and watching people from all over the planet, you know, because I know that when I'm sitting there on Main Street, maybe that's grandma's very first time ever getting to experience the Magic Kingdom. And maybe she's been wanting to come here since she was a kid. You know, how cool is that? It's just, there is truly something magical about being in a Disney park. So just enjoy it. You know, there's these little pitfalls we brought up today. These are all things, hopefully, that if you just bring them to your mind's eye for 5 seconds, you can avoid them and it'll make your day better. Just, you know, throwing that prescription medicine in your pocket, grabbing a Band-Aid, having your juice charge for your phones. I mean, that stuff, this practical stuff, but we just want you to have we just do these shows so you can have a great vacation. That's truly what we always want you to have. It's just a wonderful, wonderful vacation. And then come on a Monday show and tell us all about it so we can all share in it. That's what I love.
Yes, I agree.
All right, we're going to get out of here. Wish you a great weekend. Time to go to the homecoming football game tonight and beat those Jaguars. Go Howl. Oh, I got to tell you a funny story. I was going to tell you real quick, and I'll share it with our audience. So last weekend, we're playing one of our other schools in our district, the Francis Howell North Knights. Okay, so they're the Knights, right? The like Knights in shining armor. They have an awesome mascot, right? So it's a guy in a shining art, like he's in a knight suit. He has a handler even, like, so it reminded me of Disney, right? So, so they have a brand new campus. They've totally redone their whole high school. They got a brand new football stadium. It's almost done. They're just rebuilt it. They're demolishing the old school and stuff, and they're in the middle of all this. But everything at this school is new, and like it's really nice. So he's got like this whole new outfit, this night, and he's got a handler. And like I'm like, it's high school kids, right? So I'm like, this is like Disney. Like this guy's got a handler and everything. Well, apparently the costume has not been broken in yet. So it's like he's walking totally like a robot. And I mean, and I kept telling Pam as I was watching him, because we were just killing this team. Like this team is not very good. We're not that great this year either, but we were just smoking this team. So I'm watching this night, as a Disney fan, right? And I could tell he was like struggling. And I'm like, I can't tell if his like costume has eyes or not. I can't tell if his like I can see where he's going, because he was like, he kept like walking sideways and stuff. And he's like struggling. And the handler's not really paying attention. I'm like, somebody needs to train this handler, like take care of his night. Anyway, big bomb play on the football field. We throw a bomb, guys breaking down the field for like a 50-yard touchdown. Pam's like, did you see that? I'm like, yeah, we scored. It's like 42-0. She's like, no, the knight just fell flat on his face. I'm like, what? And I look down there, the knight is boom.
Oh,
like
no.
he is flat on his face and he can't get back up. So they're trying to pop him back up. And so the handler like wasn't paying attention apparently, like at all. And so now like a teacher has come out of the stands, and now the handler notices. So like the teacher and the handler are trying to get the struggling knight back on his feet.
No.
And so the rest of the night, NIGHT, the rest of the night during the game, the knight was not moving. Like he was stationary in one spot, and it was hot this night, NIGHT. So he was just like standing there. And it was smoking hot this night. So this guy was probably it, or girl, I don't know who was in the suit, but I felt so bad because like football players, we had to take water breaks halfway through all 4 quarters. This person was in there just smoking, like fell flat on their face, like couldn't move because the suit was like inflexible, probably brand new. I mean, thick, great looking suit though. I mean,
they need the Disney character.
They need to go to training,
right?
The handler could care less about their partner in crime. It was a crime against humanity of this knight suit.
Dang, they need the Disney character.
Oh my God, it was so funny. Any Disney fan that would have been in the stands that night would have been like, "This is a crime."
Right?
They never let their knight hit the ground that hard.
There's going to be a mascot union soon.
And my biggest regret of the night was that I did not get it on video to put up. I'd have made such a cool reel out of that.
Out of this misery.
I'm like, dang, Pam, did you get it? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, man, Pam, what are you doing? Anyway, fun story for your Friday afternoon. All right, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back Sunday night with a live call-in show. Join us at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central for the BOGP open line. It's you, me, and Scotty G. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. We'll take your calls. Give Pam a follow on social media at TMFLTPam. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. We'd love to connect with you over there. And of course, join us in the clubhouse, beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. The conversation continues 24/7, 365. All of our podcasts proudly brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, even Adventures by Disney. Get out there and see the world. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all these shows possible. Couldn't do it without you. And you can support us as well, just $5 a month. And you'll get our bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. Come on over this weekend, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. All right, time to get out of here and let you get out to Friday Night Lights or just to have a great weekend. So for Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Friday and an awesome weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
Boom.
Boom. Good stuff.
Yay. There's some good tips there.
There were some good tips. And we're out at a decent hour.
Agreed. I will be here next week.
Yes.
Again.
I will be here too.
All right, cool.
Put out the call.
All right. We will see you then. Okay.
Ooh. All right.
Okay. Bye.